What is the number one danger of consuming natural flavorings? I mean, it's in all of the food that we see on the shelves these days, it's in everything. So what is the number one danger? The number one danger is the uncertainty. Maybe that's not the answer you're looking for, but with this video, I'm gonna kind of walk you through how you can learn what natural flavors are actually in the food that you're choosing. Whether they're the natural flavors that are perfectly fine or the natural flavors that are really a problem. Let's dive into it. Now, a natural flavor isn't always bad. Now, you have to understand a little bit of food manufacturing to understand this whole process. Natural flavors are a large umbrella, and a lot of times the bad guys and the good guys get roped in together under one category. This is a serious problem because what the FDA says is perfectly safe and okay to be in a product as a natural flavor, that's a pretty wide girth there. Doesn't necessarily mean it's best for optimal health, it just means that it's generally recognized as safe. So the Flavor and Extract Manufacturing Association actually put out a warning and said, hey, you need to start looking at natural flavors a little bit more. Because they started identifying, again, that these master flavorists were using hundreds of ingredients to create the perfect flavor that's messing with your brain to get you to eat more. You might think, oh, it's innocent, just trying to make it taste good, but no, I mean, these guys know what they're doing, okay? Now, the FDA allows for what are called 150 incidental additives. That means all kinds of things that could be incidentally added into the mix in order to complete the flavor. That is a little bit scary. So basically, there's a wide girth of what is really safe and what is really not. So how do you know? If Bob Smith has created a great little product and he's sourcing his natural flavors from raspberries in his backyard, how come he ends up under the same umbrella as conglomerate corporation over here that has incidental additives just trying to make you eat more? It's not really fair, but there's a simple thing that you can do, and it's finding common denominators and process of elimination. Now, it's not 100% foolproof. You know, there's nothing we can really do short of calling the company or calling their co-packer and asking what kind of natural flavoring they're using. Well, it's funny, but I've done it, okay? And sometimes it works, but most of the time you don't get an answer. You have to look at a label and you have to look at what else is in the ingredient list. There's a simple rule when people are producing food and supplements. If they're gonna cut one corner, they're gonna cut more corners too. So if you look at the ingredients and you see natural flavors on the ingredient label, you shouldn't just run the other direction. You should look at what's standing next to those natural flavors. If you start seeing a bunch of words you cannot pronounce, if you see titanium dioxide, if you see things like red dye XYZ, yellow dye XYZ, alongside natural flavors, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that those natural flavors are not the good kind of natural flavors. But if you look at a label and you see 3 or 4 regular ingredients that are whole food form, and then you see natural flavorings, you're probably not in the same category, right? If someone is putting their best foot forward and spending a lot of money to source good ingredients, why would they cut corners on something as inexpensive as flavoring? The natural flavoring, if you look at the cost analysis of creating a product, the flavoring is not the expensive part. The whole food is the expensive part. So the natural flavoring area is not a place where you're typically gonna see a corner cut to save a fraction of a cent when everything else is very expensive. So you have to look at what is surrounding the natural flavors. Now, I'm not saying this just to protect the brands that have natural flavors. I just know that there are a lot of good foods out there that have natural flavors and are upset with the fact that they're even organic, potentially, natural flavors sourced from good quality whole foods are forcing them to get sucked into the same category as those that have a bunch of other garbage in their ingredient list. So does that mean that you go and you consume everything that has a natural flavor? No. If it doesn't have a natural flavor, that's an extra win. Okay, but we need to keep a serious wolf at the door. And someone asked me not that long ago, like, what percentage of products do you think with natural flavors are garbage natural flavors compared to good? And I had to totally guess, but from a lot of the research that I've seen and the grocery haul videos that I do where I look at this and I investigate brands, unfortunately I'd say about 7 out of 10 natural flavorings are probably lower quality. And I can figure that out just by process of elimination with other things. There's a lot of products out there that natural flavors aren't going to be as much of an issue. Now, what are some of these problems that you can face with natural flavors? Like what are the risks here? Well, that's just the thing. Are they just synthetic compounds so we don't know what they're doing inside of our body? Yeah. Are they affecting our microbiome? Possibly and probably. Good, bad, I don't know. Okay? But I think the simplest thing that we have to look at is that these natural flavors are chemically and scientifically designed to light up your brain. They are designed to make your brain go light up like a Christmas tree. So when you eat that chip, you want more of it. You get a dopamine hit, okay? We live in a world where we are bombarded with dopamine hits all the time. The less that you can impact those dopamine receptors, the better. Eating close to the earth, the better. So what are the dangers? What's the big risk here? The risk is that you don't know what you're getting. It's a gamble, and that is what's scary. But you can do the legwork ahead of time to at least sleep at night a little bit knowing you've probably lessened the impact. I'll see you tomorrow.